from all around Geelong. I'm here to tell you how football.
Good morning and welcome again to the Buckley's Entertainment Centre for the GDFL footy show. Yep, it's another cold Saturday morning with a magnificent round of matches on this afternoon. But last week was a magnificent round as well, with a lot of clubs now teetering on the chance of making the final five as we draw to a close of the home and away season. Anarchy Roos, well, they were too good out of Footrot Flats for the Cry Devils. Well, the last minute they were anyway. Cry were in front just about all day and Anarchy overtook them and beat them until the end of the day. So a bit of bad luck there for the Cry Devils. Winchelsea Blues out at the Gun Club, too good for Inverleigh, with Venables kicking 5 goals for the Winchelsea Blues. A great effort indeed. Up at the Quacker Dome, the Werribee Central Centurions were too good for the Belmont Lions. Absolutely belted the poor old Lions and they weren't having a good day at all. And Tyrone Monty Bruno, I know he was back in the goal kicking action again. Out of Victoria Park, the East Geelong Eagles continue on their late season form, defeating the Bannockburn Tigers. Absolutely in great form there as well. The East Geelong Eagles, look out, here they come. The Tommy Tigers out at the Western Oval, well, they defeated Geelong West and they can ill afford to be losing too many more games. They want to play finals football for the first time in many years. And the 94.7 match of the day was an absolute beauty. It was out at the Keith Barclay Oval, and yeah, the big fella's pretty excited about it all. It's not the North Geelong show, but we beat Belpost Hill, and it was the first time the Panthers lost the game for about 30 odd matches. So it was a great effort indeed by the Magpies, but it's still a long way to go with the finals. But gee, Derek Fitzsimmons once again really put a handle on the fact that he might be a big contender for this year's Neville Whitley medal. Hello, I'm Dick Philpott, and once again I have assembled some of the, well, one of them anyway, the biggest and oldest, probably not say the oldest, brain in country football to eradicate, adjudicate, communicate, and definitely not procrastinate. Well, for a start, I'll introduce him. He's the number one commentator, Eric Nicholls, and g'day, mate.
Good morning, Dick. And
somebody missing.
It is, but I've just got to say quickly, we went to North Geelong last week expecting the game of the year, and we certainly saw it. A fantastic game. Yeah,
it was a great game, and North Geelong looking pretty good. But we've lost our little mate this week. He couldn't come down this morning, and he's having a couple of little health issues. But he'll come good, we know that. But we certainly send our Cheerios to Grubby, and we certainly miss him, even though we have a bit of fun with him and a bit of tilling and throwing. We don't like so little bloke, and I think his wife's got him on a couple of biscuit tins so he can see the TV set so he can watch us this morning.
Not only missing him this morning, we'll miss him this afternoon.
I know.
That's not good.
Heard you got the interchange bench running this afternoon.
Absolutely, yes.
Dale the Wild's coming back.
Dale might be back on board.
Oh, geez, the chicken sandwiches out of East Geelong are going to be going in all directions this afternoon. Well, last week, Eric, after the big game out at the Keith Barclay Oval, you caught up with the coach at the moment, Doggy Ryan, who's doing a great job with North Geelong at the moment. Here's Eric with Doggy now.
Well, here at Keith Barclay Oval, a couple of weeks ago I had a very excited coach from North Geelong in Darren Doggy Ryan, but he's more than excited today because the North Geelong club have just defeated Belpost Hill in a magnificent game of wet weather football. Doggy, firstly welcome, congratulations, what a fantastic win.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Obviously, it's something you strive for as a club to, come up against the league leaders for the last 3 years, and we really set ourselves to have a crack at Belpost Hill. And we've got a lot of belief that we could beat them, but geez, it's great to beat them, mate. I tell you, I hate to be, don't want to brag about it, but it's nice. It gives our players and our club a lot of confidence with all the work that we've been doing for the last 2 years.
We, the commentators, probably had a lot of conjecture as how you would approach the game, how Brent Grigich had approached the game. I think tactically you came out with a few moves that he wouldn't have expected, playing forwards up back and backs up forward, and I think it took him a bit by surprise.
Yeah, I think people don't realise the flexibility we've got on our side. Our players who can go forward, we've got players who can go back. We're really lucky and gifted in terms of that, and we probably worked hard in that area to make sure they had blokes that could rotate through certain roles. And we spent a lot of time, like I guess you look at Gutty, De Blasio last year played defensive all year, and then we've played him for probably 9 to 10 games this year as a forward due to our injuries. And this week we threw him back on Big Jovanovic, which I thought he'd done a terrific job on him. Yeah,
you did very, very well. And have you gone out with the intent of being much harder at the play with the footy and playing a role whereby you didn't allow any Belpost Hill play an easy kick? They were one-on-one when you had to be, but when the guy had the footy, you really attacked them.
Oh, absolutely. I think our guys really set themselves up to attack Belpost Hill. I think they've been looking for a really big challenge, and we knew that's where Belpost Hill's strength is. They're big body boys. We knew that they would hit us hard, and we thought we had to be proactive in that area and be the leaders. And I thought today we were the leaders for 4 quarters in that area, so it was an absolute standout.
We wondered when you recruited Sam Clark to the club, today epitomised why you recruited him. What a great game he played.
Oh, super. Just the things I don't think people really notice is the body work that he does for the players, and creates space for blokes, a lot of body blocks that he does for the players. He's such a important player to our forward structure. He's really team orientated, and I think most people don't realise how team orientated he is. He's just a fantastic individual. He's got an amazing football brain. He's fantastic.
Derek Fitzsimmons, we glow about his talents week in, week out. Maybe we'll put the moz on him because we've gone out on a limb and suggest he might win the Whitley medal after today's game, but week after week he puts in for you.
Oh, mate, he's a marvellous player. His record speaks for himself, 4-time BNF winner at this club. He's just, I've been around for footy for a little while, and to see a bloke who's so consistent, and not myself and everyone around this club, I just admire the way he attacks the ball. We've given Lockie Wright and the Blake Podners and so forth, said, listen, that's a leader that you've got to follow. He's an exceptional captain and terrific fellow.
As a former defender myself, I always admire defenders who come along. Early in the year, I was a little bit concerned about Jared Bryant. You've persevered with him. Obviously, you've worked with him. What a great game he played today.
Oh, he was super. JB's, he's come back from GDFL, and I think it's taken him a few weeks to find his spot. But a couple of weeks he plays, you just go, he's back on, and he just weans off a bit. And we set him forward a couple of times against Thompson and so forth. He kicked like 3 goals, 6 or something. So he's an adaptable player. He creates flexibility in his side, but it just is when JB's on, his importance to this club is enormous.
And is that the best side you can field, or is there someone still to come back before the end of the season?
Nah, mate, we're full strength. That's we've got Aaron Jervis who's probably knocking on the door. I mean, if you watch our reserves today, we've got probably 6 to 8 blokes who played in our reserves that obviously are knocking. But Aaron Jervis is probably our only injured player so far not playing today. So
the good part about it, the couple who weren't there, I sort of Paramount, Fletcher. I guess if they put in some form, they put pressure on the blokes already in the team, so that's only going to improve you.
Oh, absolutely. The pressure, telling blokes on Thursday night they're not in the side this week was gut-wrenching as a coach, but, that's something we strive to do to make sure that we had 8 to 10 blokes in our reserves that could step up and play senior football. Daniel Aluzzi and all them boys who played really well last week. Paul, the reality of it is you play a bad game, you're going to get dropped, and they got dropped this week. For 2-3 weeks, them boys were fantastic, but that's the nature of the beast.
I guess, Doggy, as commentators, we came here expecting the game of the year, perhaps the best game of the year, and I don't think you let us down today. Thanks very much for a great game. Congratulations. You've broken the bell post still run, and now I tell you what, top of the ladder, how's it feel?
Oh, it's fantastic. We're all excited to have both sides, reserves and seniors, on top of the ladder. That's what you strive for in footy, let's be honest. We all know that you want to be on top of the ladder. You want to make sure now we've got something to hold on to, and we want to obviously enjoy hopefully a week of rest in the finals in round 1. But, we've got a massive task next week against East Geelong, so we're already planning for that, mate.
Done very well. Thanks, Doggy Ryan, for a great win, great interview, and keep up the good work.
Great interview there by Eric with Doggy Ryan. They're going along pretty well at the moment. We're going to pay some bills, and we'll come right back after this break.
We are the Raiders from all around Geelong. I'm here to tell you how football is